Hi, my name is Rhonda Robertson, and I'm the Director of the Department of Assessment, Translation, and Accountability. That's DATA for short. And today I'm here to talk to you about assessment during distance learning. Why do we assess? There's a lot more purposes behind each assessment than certainly just grading and reporting. One of the primary purposes of assessment is to gauge how students are doing with regard to the state standards so that teachers can adjust their instruction. We also want to be able to give students specific feedback for improvement. Another purpose for having consistent assessments across the district is so that we have consistent expectations, and so that the grade level expectations at one school are the same at another school, across the state and across our district for sure. We also want to be able to use our assessment results to inform you, the parents, on the progress of your children. And then finally, we use multiple measures to determine when students may be falling behind and in need of intervention. We actually have California Education Code, or law, that talks about the purposes of assessment being to assist teachers, administrators, pupils, and their parents to improve teaching and learning, and to promote high-quality teaching and learning using a variety of assessment approaches and types, not just one certain type of assessment. This is a graphic that helps kind of depict that's been created by the California Department of Education. And it shows students have multiple opportunities for different assessments across a school year. And all of those assessments are in alignment with their grade level standards. So our teachers have a lot of techniques in their tool belts to gather information formatively in very informal, quick ways to check for understanding within a lesson about how students are doing with regard to those standards. Those are called checking for understanding opportunities, and they help teachers make very quick adjustments within a lesson to see if students need to do additional, if they need to do any additional reteaching or previewing or reviewing of those standards. Then as we get deeper into the year, those assessment events become a little bit bigger and they encompass a little bit more content. And so they're putting more standards together, and that's where the district comes in. And we provide interim and benchmark assessments throughout the school year. And then the state comes in with their large-scale summative assessments. It's a very large oval because those state-level summative assessments cover the most comprehensive amount of content for students, seeing if they can put it all together. So all of these assessment opportunities across a school year provide multiple ways for us to know and adjust based on what your students' needs are. Having a comprehensive assessment system is also one of the cornerstones of the Multi-Tiered Systems of Supports Framework, or MTSS for short. Having a comprehensive assessment system helps us quickly identify which students may be in need of more support, and it helps us efficiently allocate different resources to meet their needs. In a Multi-Tiered Systems of Supports framework, we clearly identify what pertains to all students, which is the core grade level instruction. We also identify which additional supplemental supports some students may need to get on track or to meet grade level standards. Additionally, some students may need individualized, more intensive, personalized instruction, and that's what's indicated here with a few students. So our assessment system is actually built on these ideals as well. and we identify what students get all assessments, or which assessments go for all students, some students, and few students. And based on their students' assessment results, we may be increasing their continuum of support. So this is a snapshot of one of our grade levels assessment calendars, and you can see the similar coloring systems. This happens to be our 3rd grade English immersion assessment calendar. It's organized by subject first, and also by trimester. The majority of our district level assessments occur about once per trimester. Some are a little more often, and a few are even less often. SEL stands for social emotional learning. During distance learning and during this pandemic that we're living in, social emotional learning has taken the top priority. We want to make sure that students' emotional needs are being met. Second is English language development. Our students that we serve come from a lot of different language backgrounds, and we want to make sure that they have the English language development to access the high-level core academic instruction at their grade level. Next is English language arts and math. The green stripes show us which assessments all students get. The gray stripes show us which assessments some students get. Typically, if a student is struggling on our core assessment, we may do additional diagnostic assessment for those students. And finally, the blue indicates which assessments few students get. Those few students are on action plans or intervention plans, and they're receiving additional individualized support. And we use that 3rd layer of assessment to progress monitor them to ensure that that support we're giving them is effective. Our assessment calendar for this school year also highlights what has been removed due to distance learning or due to teacher feedback that those assessments weren't as valuable to them as we thought they were. So every grade level, not just 3rd, has an assessment calendar with a similar layout and reductions that have been made for the school year. So distance learning. This isn't what any of us had hoped for, but we don't want teaching and learning to stop, even though the way that we're teaching and learning is very different than we're used to. Many of our assessments can be given asynchronously. They're digital and they can be pushed out for students to do on their independent time. So they can do it alone at home as an assignment that their teacher has given to them. Some of our assessments must be done synchronously. That means either as a whole class they need to be done or one-on-one with their teacher via Microsoft Teams. No matter what the assessment is, the purpose of it is to figure out how well our students can apply the grade level standards. It's not to know how fast they can do things. So none of our tests at the district level are timed. So having students do assessment at home is very different from what we're used to. What do you need to know as a parent or a guardian to support your child? So it's important that our assessment results are an accurate measure of what students can do on their own, independently, without your help. When teachers view assessment results, they adjust their instruction to meet your children's needs. So if your child is showing on an assessment that they don't need any help with that standard, the teacher's not going to spend any time teaching that standard to your child. So it's very important not to help your children on the content or the questions of a test, because we want to make sure that teachers have the accurate information that they need to teach your children in the best way that they can. But there are things that you can do to support with assessment at home. You can assist your child in setting up the technology, getting into the assessment and logging on, and navigating through the assessment if they're stuck. But please don't help your child with the content of any of the questions on the assessments. It's really critical that they do that on their own. Here are 3 big ways that you can really help your child's teacher out. Keep a list of your children's logins. That would be so helpful. Sometimes students mistype a letter or a character on the keyboard, and it's hard to log into the assessment system if that occurs. If you keep track of your kiddos' logins, it would be a very big support to the classroom teacher. Another way that you can really support is by setting up the environment for your child, helping limit distractions and loud noises and other fun things going on in the home at that time would be very helpful so that your child can focus on that assessment and do their best. Another way that you can help is encourage your child. If you see them stuck on a question, tell them that's okay, just do your best and move on. It's okay to get the answers wrong. That's how teachers know where we need help, where we need to help your child. So those 3 pieces could really be a big help for your child and very supportive to their educational process. Of course, using as much technology as we're using right now, there are going to be some issues. So if you are having your child do an assessment and you run into any technology issues, please contact your child's teachers. Sometimes assessments can be paused, resumed, and later even reset by the teacher. And if it needs to be so, your teacher can escalate that technology issue to the technology assistant at the school or to district office support. So your front line of support is reaching out to your child's teacher. So what about grading and report cards during distance learning? How is that going to be this year? You can find our report cards at anaheimelementary.org/data/report cards. We have them for all of our programs, English Language Mainstream, Dual Immersion, and they're available in English and in Spanish. There have really been no changes for this school year to the form of our report cards. No structural changes. They should look very similar than they have in previous years. What is different is that we're really focusing teaching and learning and assessment on essential standards. We've narrowed down the standards to what's most critical for students to know before they move into the next grade level. Here you have a list of all of the language arts essential standards by grade level. And you can see that in language arts, for example, we have these domains: foundational skills, reading for literature, reading for information, writing. These are the same domains that you're going to see on your child's report card. In the past, we covered perhaps 10 standards under that domain. This school year, for distance or blended learning, we are going to be covering a narrower scope of standards. So you're still going to be seeing a grade on your child's report card, but that grade is going to be reflecting fewer standards, the essential standards. These are the essential standards for language arts, and here we have them for mathematics. Same idea. The domains that we show you on the report card, those grades are going to be covering fewer standards than they have in the past. So what you're going to be seeing is only essential standards reported on the report card. And you're going to see more domains that are grayed out. For example, in this one, numbers in base 10 will not be covered in trimester 1. Measurement and data will not be covered in trimester 1 or trimester 2. You get the idea. If it's not taught and assessed, it will be grayed out on the report card for this school year. Staying connected. This is really critical. You're no longer receiving backpacks full of papers that you can thumb through and kind of keep track of how your kids are doing. We have to really overtly try to stay connected. And there are 3 ways that I recommend that you can do this in a very automated way. 1, you can ask your child's teacher to be a guardian within Google Classroom. And as a guardian in Google Classroom, you can receive alerts about what your child has been completing and what assignments are still outstanding for your child. I have a child in the district, and I've been signed up as a guardian in his Google Classroom, and I receive daily emails about his progress on activities that the teacher has assigned him. This same access is available in Seesaw if you have a primary grade student. You can ask your child's teacher for guardian access in Seesaw so that you can keep up on what the assignments are. Another great way to keep connected in an automated way is to sign up for Renaissance Home Connect. Our students often, pretty much daily, are reading books and taking accelerated reader quizzes. You can, by signing up for Renaissance Home Connect, automatically receive emails every time your child takes a quiz, and it'll show you their quiz results, and you can congratulate your child for how well they did, or offer them encouragement and support if they need to do a little better. So these are 3 ways that you can stay connected without having to make a phone call or an email. Once you're connected, this information will come to you through your email. And of course, anytime you're concerned, reach out to your child's teacher. We wish you and your loved ones safety and success for this school year. If you have any questions, my name is Rhonda Robertson. I'm at the data department. Here's my email address and my phone number. And I hope you have a fantastic year. Thank you.